Rick Lawrence.
Mr. Lawrence, you have 2 minutes to speak beginning now.
Yeah, I wanted to, Bug, you asked a question last week, and I want to commend you on that question. I didn't think you got a great answer on it. When you asked why is Aurora giving the subsidies to the car dealer and Naperville doesn't. Somebody came up and said, well, they put in a test track so car dealers go over there. It's not true. It has to do with economics. But why we give money out? Because that's just what we do in Aurora. We hand out tens of millions of dollars. It started 40 years ago, but then it was for sods and awnings and things like that for businesses. Then it turned into Roundhouse and Downer Loft. There's an example, a guy owed us $4 million forever. Owed the taxpayers $4 million. I guess we just settled that lawsuit for $600,000. Taxpayers lost all kinds of money on that. The Shodine project. Cost us taxpayers nearly $10 million. Nothing. Our Wadey over at the Elks Club, millions of dollars into that before they got somebody else in there. You know, your sneaker guy took all kinds of money. How many hundreds of thousands of dollars now you're trying to evict them from the property? Your Restaurant Row, you know, hundreds of thousands of dollars into that. You know, Morton's keeps going. Hopefully moving forward, we're not just throwing money at every restaurant that walks in or whoever Alex goes to dinner with, comes in with a new idea and we fund it for $1 million. You know, so when you ask why do we do it and they don't, it's what we do. We just hand money out. Very little metrics, very little consequence if they don't follow through. If we lose money, we don't like to talk about it because you can't have failure. And you can't hold anybody responsible for when we lose all these millions of dollars of the taxpayers' money. So you were right to ask that question, and you didn't get a good answer. It's not because of a test track. It's because of economics. And that's why. But Aurora has to do better with the taxpayers' money and not just hand it out to everyone. That car dealer isn't guaranteeing you any increase in sales, isn't guaranteeing you any return on that on the taxpayer investment of the $13 million in tax rebate. They're not saying we're going to double our sales. They're not saying they're going to increase it by 50 cents or 50%, and then the taxpayers are going to receive a huge return on that investment. You know why they came in? Because they know you'll give it to them. That's why. That's why everybody comes in. That's why you're funding $54,000 a unit on on the apartment building over here. Nobody does that. No other city does that, but we do. So why do they get it? Because they can ask and they can get it without much question and without much.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.